I'm about to share with you 5 different elements and different things that you can do in your life to make your life easier so that you don't have to keep working so hard to get what you want. So stay tuned and let's go through these and change your life. Welcome to Valerian Bay. I'm Suzanne and I'm so pleased that you're here today. So I wanted to share with you 5 top tips and potentially top secrets really to help you have a less hard working life. So what do we consider as hard work? Let's talk around what that actually looks like first, and then we can talk about what the solutions are to enable you to have a life that is easier, more free-flowing and kinder on your body, because hard work really takes its impact as we start to get older, and it's not something that we can consistently continue with up until old age. So first of all, why do we call it hard? Well, it's when we're applying all of our energy to something. Now this might be mental, it might be physical, but we're applying a force to make something happen to get the energy of money and all these things. It is all about energy. The thing is, it is literally applying force, and by applying that force we then get paid, so it reinforces the notion that we have to give so much of who we are to actually have money coming in. So I used to work in the corporate world and did for over 20 years at all levels up to director level, and I did work really hard. I was in procurement, and so my day job was very fast. It was very productive. I had an awful lot that I had to get through every single day, and most of the time my body was pretty tense, my mind was pretty tense, and I was on it trying to make everything happen. And at the same time I was studying in the evenings in my free time. So I've got an engineering based degree that I did at university. I then did a procurement degree level chartership as I was going through my procurement job and my procurement career, and then also I was studying spiritual practices, psychology, holistic practices, and I've just applied myself so much to things. And I don't think it's a concept that you shouldn't apply yourself heavily to certain things to get what you want. However, we need to look at how you actually do that, because what happened for me was everything got harder and harder and harder, in the sense that I applied myself harder and harder and more to the point where I ended up in a job where I was on call 24 hours a day without payment to reflect that. And I moved into illness. My health started to suffer, and then I had a lot of pain for about 5 years. But I started to make the changes while I was in that job that actually then took me out of that sort of environment, and I still managed to stay in the career at that point that I was in, but in a much gentler role. So let's talk about how I did that and the processes. So first of all, let's talk about limiting beliefs. So your beliefs around how money is made will have come from your immediate caregiver, your guardian, or your parents, whoever you watched creating the environment of your home lifestyle. So whoever provided the food, whoever provided the money, whoever provided the roof over your head, that will impact on what your beliefs are about how you make money in this life. Now that isn't necessarily correct, because unless your caregiver got it really right and managed to work through and into a life of ease and affluence, then then it might not be the role that you actually want to copy, because what we tend to do is we tend to use other people as a model of, so that creates the strategy for the model of your world. It creates the story that you live in. So how do we start to change the beliefs about how we make money? Well, around the limiting belief element, well, we look for a different model. So who has done it differently? Try to find someone who has actually made money and how they do it, and talk to them about their understanding of what a working life is. Talk to them about their attitude towards work, to understand that, and that will start to change. It will start to wriggle the edges of what you believe is the way to make money. So that's around limiting beliefs. Stop applying force. So there's a Buddhist concept that every single thing you do it with love in your heart, and you do it with joy, and you do it to the best of your ability. And this is very different from the concept of trying to force something to happen. So allow things to happen. When you are doing healing, we never use the energy that's within us to push it out into somebody else. We allow the energy to flow through us. So just start to flow with what needs to be done and release attachment to what you want to achieve, so that you can actually flow with what's happening. So instead of going, right, this must happen today, go, this is what I'd like to happen today. I'm going to take these actions to try and encourage this to be the case, and be flexible with what's going on. So start to move and be flexible about what you're doing. Start to enjoy it. Happy people are 12% more productive. That is a statistical fact. You can look it up on the internet. So start to enjoy it and allow things to flow more. That will take the hardness away from it, and it will take the pressure off your body. Consider, are you utilising hard work to validate yourself? So validation is the third one. A lot of the time we will use work to validate who we are because we have self-value issues. So you will only receive the amount of money that you feel you are worth, basically. So start to imagine yourself with lots and lots of money around you. Take some deep breaths and see if you actually feel worthy of having that money. Now, if you don't, then you need to start altering that concept again within your mind, and the recognition of that alone will help you. And then you can start reframing it by doing affirmations such as, I love money and money loves me. I've been doing that for the past several years, and it's made a huge difference. And start to reframe your self-value by sitting in the energy of being of value. So you can breathe deeply, close your eyes, and just imagine what it's like to be of true value to people, and look for people who really appreciate you in your world, and recognise that even if it's just to a couple of people, you are of real value, and start to grow that in yourself. Start to feel that energy as being bigger and expanding beyond you as you sit within that energy with your eyes closed and breathing into it, so that your mind and your subconscious and unconscious start to believe that that is real. Start to believe that you are of true value. The next one is people pleasing. So are you trying to not only do all the work that you're meant to do, but keep everybody happy while you're doing it? If that is the case, that is just going to be a super double whammy of physical and emotional and mental exhaustion. If you are doing this, it will make your work life so much harder, but it's also possibly reflective of being in survival mode. So you might be in a permanent state of fight, flight or freeze where if you've had a volatile background of some sort. So there are obviously a lot of things you can do around people pleasing. You can book into work with me and I will help to remove those elements and issues from the past. Just pop on to www.valerianbaycoaching.com, fill in the contact form on the get in touch page, and we can have a conversation about how I can support you. In the meantime, practice wobbling the edges of the people pleasing issues by choosing really tiny little moments where you'd normally go to make sure everybody was perfectly happy and don't do it, so that the consequences aren't existent. You know, you'll not do the people pleasing moment and people won't react, and then that will start to reinforce that you don't have to be responsible for everyone, and even those little tiny steps will make a difference to how you behave in the world, which will take a lot of pressure off you, and that's what we're looking to do, because we don't want your body suffering from ill health as you go through life. So the last one is specifically about intention. So at the minute, your intention will be to work really hard, or else your survival may be at risk. So I want to shift that to going, I easily make money and I treat myself with gentle compassion, and the world brings in gentle compassion to me. So each morning, or each night, you could do both, but if you go to bed, before you go to sleep, think, tomorrow I'm going to have a gentle, compassionate and productive day. And I do this before I go to bed, and it has changed everything. And you can change that to whatever you want, setting your intention before you go to sleep, because then your mind's processing it and it's getting ready, and you've set your computer, your mind is like a computer, you've set it ready for what's going to come the next day, and it works really well. So just set that every night. Tomorrow I'm going to have a gentle and compassionate and productive day. Right, I leave that with you. Lots of love to you. Take care. Have a great day. Goodbye.